Hi, welcome to Sylvie's Technique Vlog. So in this section I'm going to be talking about creating space to generate power in very, very short range. So in previous technique vlogs I've talked about how to cover distance because as a close range fighter I'm always trying to get in. But there's actually a point at which you get in really close and you can kind of snuff yourself, and you can't generate power from really, really close distance if you're basically just grinding into your opponent. So you have to create within very, very short range without backing up. You have to find little slipping ways to create space in order to generate power. So there are a number of different things that you can do for different moves within that range. And the one I'm going to be covering here for everybody is taught to me by Duuglas-Ittu. So Duuglas-Ittu has this thing where he steps behind his other foot to generate power for a knee, and it allows you to actually keep the same kind of like angle that you would have for like a longer range knee. And it seems counterintuitive because you're putting your foot behind your other foot and you're like, why would I cross my feet? But you generate so much power with absolutely no distance, and it's really incredible. So I've been practicing this and I've been doing it in pad work with crew, but this is how you practice it on the bag. So basically you have really, really close range here, and your foot is actually going to go behind your other foot and go like that. So that's a way to generate power in very, very short range without having to create actual distance between you and your opponent. So you're not taking a step back, you're just putting your foot behind your other foot, which allows you to, when you throw your knee, still angle your foot and kind of come at that same angle that you would be doing if you were doing a much, much longer knee. It's so powerful, and I've been doing this on the pads with crew. So when I grab him in the clinch and I don't have to take a huge step, and I don't have to push really hard, just right where I'm standing, I just tuck my foot behind my other foot and throw the knee. And you can throw like 2 or 3 from that position really, really fast, and it makes it like a machine gun knee. It's really, really effective and good. So that's the one taught by Duuglas-Ittu, and that's the one that I've been working on a whole lot. If you want to hear about some other creating distance in really, really close range techniques that I've learned, they're all in the Muay Thai library, so you can study them there. I'm going to be going into it for my patrons. Check out the link in the description below. It's easy to become a patron. Check those things out. And if you're already a patron, you can go over and listen to me chat about what I'm working on in training, and then you can go see where it's been taught to me by these legends in the Muay Thai library. So, the first person actually to really, really emphasize to me how important it is to create distance in this really, really short range is Karahat. Karahat was yelling at me because I get really, really close, which I'm supposed to do, that's my range. But when I was throwing my knees, I didn't have any power on them, and I could really only hit the side of my opponent's body because of how close we were. So he taught me this little skip back. So you stay really close with your upper body, you're still clinching, but you do this little skip back in order to create enough distance to generate a powerful knee and then close that distance back up. So this is what that looks like in what Karahat taught me. So if you're in really close like this, all my knees were like this. He has you close, skip back, knee and come back in. Right? So it's similar to Duuglas-Ittu's back, knee, like this. The important thing about the skip back is that you're just creating enough distance to generate that power to hit, and then you close it again. You don't want to stay at that longer distance because you can be hit back in that same moment. So you come back, land the knee, and close it again. But it's one of these quick, like, creating distance in order to generate power things that has become a recurring lesson from many of these other sessions that I've been doing. So for example, Chai, who is incredible at creating power from like no distance. Dawood is like having a meltdown right now. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go in the other room. Dawood lives next door. He's like 4. He has meltdowns sometimes. So the thing that Chai does in creating this distance with absolutely no distance, and now you guys get the chickens. He does it with hooks, right? So he's in really, really tight, and he just turns and pop like this. Turn and pop. So this is a very similar thing in that you stay close. You do not take a step back. You do not create distance by backing up. You create distance by a twist. That's why you're putting your foot behind your other foot on the Duuglas-Ittu knees. You're twisting your hip in order to create the distance you need to generate that power. You're not taking a huge step back. There are times when you've had someone and you're grabbing them and you take a big step back with your foot, like straight back, in order to generate power. That's usually on a turn or something. So you're like turning your opponent and then you throw that knee. This is very, very short and very close, and that's why you're twisting behind your other foot to go and generate that power that way. When you're doing the Karahat one, it's just a little skip back. So it's a little bit like if you were gonna throw a jab and you just kind of like take a pop back, throw the elbow, pop back, throw the jab. So it's more or less straight. But with Chart-Chai's hook and Duuglas-Ittu's knee, that's way, way more the twisting action. So I've been doing Duuglas-Ittu's knees in the corner for a long time now. And he actually credited the speed and height of my knees in one of my recent fights with being from doing these knees in the corner. I've covered Duuglas-Ittu's knees and how to do those before, so I'm not gonna go super into how that is actually performed, but I am gonna show you guys how to do this particular thing in the corner and what it looks like with your feet. So if you're in a ring and you have a corner like this, let's see if I can show my feet down here. When you're doing these, more or less, you're like this, you're throwing your knees this way, but then when you start doing the burn, you want to go here. Back that up. Hopefully you can kind of see that. But to me, what's been interesting about this is that for a very long time, I've had a very normal habit, but it's a bad habit, of backing up in order to create safety, in order to kind of like reset. You're like, let me like back up to my start position and then start again. If you can create the same benefits of taking that step back without taking a step back, where it's just a little twist, where it's just positioning your foot back for a second, you have a huge advantage in not giving up any space that you've already fought to get into. Plus, when you're already close, you don't want to be snuffing your power because you're too close. There is such a thing as being too far and then way too close, and you end up snuffing your power. So this is a way to have power in a really, really short range. Another good thing that I've noticed in practicing it is that it creates this habit of bringing your foot back off of knees. This seems dumb. This seems like something that everybody knows already, is that after you kick, you bring your foot back. But a lot of people, just out of habit of, especially when you're like trying to do double and triple kicks, after you kick, you end up landing really square. Like you don't bring your foot all the way back to its start position again. So when you do drills like this, when you do like the knees in the corner where you're bringing your foot back all the time, especially for the burn part, where you're trying to like drive as many as you can from one side, it's training yourself to bring your foot back behind you, which is a better start position and creates more power. So that's what I'm working on with the Duuglas-Ittu, Karahat, and Chart-Chai, creating distance out of no distance, and especially the foot behind twist trick, because I love throwing knees. Here's our little monster. He's making so much noise. He's like talking to himself. He's crazy. So that's my technique vlog. I hope you guys enjoy it and try it in training. It's really, really good.